using this script. Data analysis by DW reveals that many Brazilians live near dams that, without proper maintenance and governmental oversight, could be deadly in the case of failure. Around 1 million people in Brazil live near a dangerous dam, according to a DW analysis. The situation raises alarm bells about the possible consequences of yet another accident in the country, which has seen 3 large-scale dam disasters since 2009. The finding includes all those living in populated areas no more than a kilometer away from one of the 1,220 dams that combine high-risk and high-potential damage classifications in Brazil's National Dam Safety Information System, known as CEN-ISB. A high-risk classification means that a dam has structural damage, design flaws, or is not properly maintained, putting it at greater risk of organizational mishaps and safety incidents that could lead to a rupture. A high-potential damage classification, in turn, means that such a failure would have major environmental, human, or economic costs. The issue is being exacerbated by flawed governance. Despite legal requirements, many dams don't have safety and emergency plans that outline what should be done in the event of a disaster. Most of the risky structures, however, are water storage and irrigation dams. They're mainly located in the Northeast, a comparatively poor region that historically has suffered from water shortages. Many of the reservoirs in the area were built to offset drought. Without proper maintenance, they pose a danger to around 600,000 people in that region alone. Dams, a sign of infrastructure neglect. Located in a semi-arid region, Riacho de Cruz is a town of around 3,000 people. Rain is scarce and rivers often run low there. In this town, almost everyone lives just downstream of a dangerous dam. Built in 1957 to help keep water flowing during frequent droughts, the dam is a good example of the kind of structures found scattered across most of Brazil's northeast. In the 1960s and 70s, the federal government tried to promote water security in this region, says Mariano Andrade da Silva, a health and disasters researcher at Fiocruz, a major Brazilian academic institution. The construction of water reservoirs in areas of frequent drought was part of those efforts. Without proper maintenance, those structures have turned into a risk for the population, adds da Silva. In addition to neglected state infrastructure, da Silva describes orphan dams. The person or organization responsible for these dams is either unknown or is no longer actively maintaining the structures. As a result, 10 people for every 1,000 in the Northeast live close to a dangerous dam. That's the highest figure in all of Brazil's regions. A lack of resources in the areas where these dams are located is an aggravating factor. According to a recent survey by the Brazilian Institute for Geography and Statistics, 20% of northeastern cities with at least one dangerous dam nearby don't have functioning local civil defense services. Civil defense services are supposed to implement risk mitigation programs, including identifying vulnerable areas and establishing contingency plans. If disaster strikes, they are also responsible for coordinating rescue efforts. A look back at recent history shows the consequences of such events. In 2009, an anti-drought dam failed in Cocal, a city with 25,000 inhabitants in the northeastern state of Piauí. The event killed 9 people, displaced hundreds, and jeopardized the local agricultural economy. In January 2020, a year after the disaster, a man pays tribute to the victims of the Brumadinho Dam accident. Since then, major dam tragedies have occurred frequently in Brazil. Although tailing dams are significantly fewer in number, they are responsible for a disproportionate number of tragedies. Out of the 18 large-scale dam accidents recorded in Brazil between 1986 and 2019, 9 were connected to mining operations. 8 of those, including the catastrophes in Brumadinho and Mariana, occurred in the state of Minas Gerais, which has been Brazil's main mining hub since the 1700s. Tailing dams don't simply hold water like the others. In dam safety at Rio de Janeiro State University, most failures can be traced back to poor management practices. According to Baldi, mining companies are responsible for the lack of proper care, as they seek to increase extraction levels while reducing costs. Blame also lies with institutions meant to monitor mining activities, she adds. Brumadinho, Brazil's most lethal dam failure, serves as an example. Executives at mine operator Vale and auditors from German company TÜV Sud, who attested to the collapsed dam's stability, are answering to charges of ignoring structural problems. Unfortunately, this is not unique to that disaster. This is a common practice in Brazil. Mining companies put pressure on consultants and they end up writing what is most convenient in the moment, says Baldi.